We are here today at the Science Museum of Virginia at the Power of Poison. I'm speaking with Tim Schull. Thank you so much for speaking with us today.
Absolutely.
So we'd like to do a walkthrough of the exhibit. Would you take us through and show us some of the highlights?
Yeah, it would be awesome. We love this exhibit, so I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to enjoy it. And the exhibit's all about, it says poison, but it also brings in venom a little bit,
Okay,
right?
I
Because
like
they're different things. If you eat it, or you rub it on your skin and it makes you sick, that's a poison.
Okay.
If it bites you, injects you, or stings you, that's a venom,
All right.
right? So a bee stings venom,
Right.
but if you eat a mushroom and it makes you sick, that's poison.
Okay.
And it starts right here in the jungle. Which, we think about the jungle as being a place with lots of things that are dangerous, but it also talks about how humans have made use of poisons and venoms throughout thousands of years. Think about poison dart frogs,
Right.
And using their poison or the poison from the curare plant to add to your darts to collect your dinner. There's a little hidden monkey up there that just might become dinner.
Is the venom. And just like any
So
other
the exhibit talks about poison and culture. Like think about Harry Potter.
Right.
And the Philosopher's Stone. Philosopher's Stones were supposed to prevent, if you swallowed one or dissolved it in a drink, they're supposed to prevent you getting any illness.
Right.
Right? They're actually like stones found in a goat's stomach.
Okay.
Just like all the hair and
Yeah.
stuff that got together. They're real stones. They don't actually work.
Amazing.
There's stories that the ancient Etruscans might have thrown bees and hornets at their enemies as a weapon. There's a lot of the human creativity.
Yeah.
This is my favorite thing in the exhibit. So it's a magic book talking about the old. They would put together books 500 years ago and talk about what you should take to prevent a poison, how to use this plant, because poisons and plants can become medicines. Right? And so this is like a kind of a recreation, but it comes to life. So as we move it,
Oh, wow.
I give it a second. Right? And then it'll tell the different stories like monkshood, and also known as wolf's bane. And it'll tell those stories and come to life for you.
Oh my God.
Which I think is really cool. It's very movie-ish.
Yeah.
I just think it's so much fun. This one's Hemlock, which is very famous as Socrates killed Socrates. He was sentenced to death, so he drank a cup of hemlock.
Right.
And then it'll tell his story. I love it so much.
That is very cool.
one night from the
We've
month.
got even more cultural use of the witches from Macbeth.
Yes.
Right? But talking about, say, witches brew, is there any truth to the stories that when witches would put different types of poisons from plants on themselves, people thought they could fly and things like that. But many of those plants are hallucinogens. So they might not have actually been flying, but their brains may have told them that they were.
Right.
This is my second favorite. So it's the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland. And it talks about mercury poisoning. So when they used to make the hats, they're made out of beaver fur and felted. And to felt it, they used mercury. It makes the fur bend. And at the time, they didn't know how dangerous it was. And people who made the hats became insane.
Oh my God.
So as they figured that out, that's how the Mad Hatter became mad, right?
Yeah.
But it's also all in the chemistry, because straight up mercury, sure, you don't want to play with that. And different forms of mercury are very dangerous, but other ones are quite safe. It's all about the molecule. So mercury that has been used to preserve vaccines back in the day, is very safe. It's a molecule that doesn't impact you. So deadly to not deadly all depends on chemistry. Beauty, Snow White, all of these different fairy tales, and again, talking about there are poisons from animals and plants that will paralyze you.
Yes.
You're not like toxins in pufferfish.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
Too much is deadly, but by studying these types of paralytics, that's how we've invented things like when you go to surgery. There's anesthesia, which puts you to sleep, which we've learned by studying plants, and then there's the paralytic that keeps you from moving during the surgery. They're two different things. So here's some of those things I talked about that, like, do they prevent poison? So there are some examples of those philosopher's bazors, which were those the clumps of like uneaten things that were in a goat's stomach, for instance. There were folks who thought certain types of glassware could prevent poisons. There were certain types of gemstones that were supposed to prevent it. One that's not shown here is like unicorn horn.
Yeah.
Right? But obviously unicorns aren't real, which is sad, but I love unicorns. But the horns from the narwhal, which is a whale with the horn, were sold as unicorn horns.
Okay, yeah.
And powdered unicorn horn or a goblet made out of it, in theory, would have prevented you from being poisoned. There's some real stories that they've turned into games. And you have to learn what the symptoms are.
Okay.
And by learning the symptoms and what might cause them, you have to solve the mystery of what's causing, in this case, it's Captain James Cook, he was a real explorer, and what caused his sailors to get sick. So you have to solve it. Francie of Borgia, who is famous for being a poisoner. Probably not true.
I was gonna say it's not. I heard it might not be true.
Yeah, unfortunately, many women, as we know, back in the day were, femme fatale and things like that. She probably wasn't. She probably got a lot of the blame that things that her brother and her other relatives were.
Right.
And this last section is all about those medicines and cures that have come from studying the poisons and venoms from creatures. One of the things I like about this section, this tree is supposed to represent Taxol, which is a molecule that is extracted from the tree that treats breast cancer.
Yes. Wow.
But you hear a lot, like, why are we studying Gila monster venom?
Right.
That's a waste of money. But Gila monster venom, which is my favorite example here, has studying that has helped us develop drugs for diabetes,
Right.
as well as all of those Ozempics and Wegovys and GLP-1 inhibitors that are for weight loss drugs. And that came from somebody who's interested in understanding other than what the Gila monster works.
Wow.
So it's really important to fund research into the natural world just so we can understand how it works, because it has implications for human health.
Right.
It just makes you feel like you're in it.
Yeah.
Right?
In another world.
Yeah.
Transported to the rainforest.
It's fabulous.
Well, thank you so much for taking us through
You're
today.
so welcome. We're so glad you're here.
Thank you for having us.